Good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, and your brother Ashe SJ. Will be joining us shortly. Again, later on in the program, we'll have our commentary by our brother Blacksmith on the check-in, family. How is everybody doing? I know we was off. We missed y'all. A lot of things going on. We were so busy. This past week, well, really 2 weeks, we had so many things going on personally and stuff for the community. So, but we're back in full effect. A lot of things have been happening in the news. Of course, we got to discuss all of that. I just finished my workout, so sweat bullets. But anyway, bear with your sister. Anyway, I see that new mainstream media commentators have been shying away from the obvious, if you will, with these recent mass shootings that have taken place. So we're going to break all of that down. We're going to discuss some of the events that have taken place here in the city of New York in the past couple of weeks. As we're coming off what would have been the Earth Day of Brother Malcolm X, and the Notorious B.I.G. here in Brooklyn. A lot of things, a lot of community events have taken place, a lot of networking. We got a lot of things done. So our brother Tad and our brother Ashe will be giving us reports on that a little bit later. Also, we're going to get into some things that we feel that the family need to know. Right now in this crucial time, some of the things we've already stated here throughout the years on this program, things that you should be preparing for. A lot of parents are in, a tizzy about lack of formula for their children. We warned you all to stock up on supplies because they are cutting down the food demand. Because a lot of these billionaires are taking over production of food. So we're going to discuss that tonight. Also, you guys have been, asking us about different topics. And from now on, based on the emails and messages that we get, we're going to tackle some of those things. We're going to get into some of the things that the mayor of New York City has engaged himself in, some commentary and things that we find unsavory. So we're going to discuss that as well. We're going to discuss where millions of dollars are being funneled to while we suffering. Can't get reparations, but we suffering. So again, family, I want to thank you all for tuning in and buckle up and get ready. We're going to take a quick break. And we'll be right back with you.
Let's go. Let's go. I can't shake it loose. This the hate produce. I'm here to break the loose and fight the devil. Ain't no truce. Raise it another level. Shame the devil. Say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. I can't shake it loose. This the hate produce. I'm here to break the loose and fight the devil. Ain't no truce. Raise it another level. Shame the devil. Say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. You peak pale skin beast. I hate your red, white, and blue. And Ku Klux Klan sheets. I hate your president, your senate, and your campaign speech. I hate the British and the Romans and the goddamn Greeks. It's no peace, yeah. Moral persuasion doesn't work with Caucasians. You speak this language through violence with guns blazing. So what I'm saying, negotiating with Satan. African mind. Gonna make these devils pay for every single crime ever committed. Cracker, you did it, now it's time to die. I sprayed a ratchet, I blatted, no moving backwards. I'm sending bullets at crackers and all faggots. Forward is the motion. Killing devils on different levels, concocting potions to stop them from encroaching. On our way of life, I got a knife to slit his throat quick. Get my people hyped, cause what I write is always dopeness, focus. I can't shake it loose, this the hate produce. I'm here to break the loose and fight the devil, ain't no truce. Raise it another level, shame the devil, say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. I can't shake it loose, this the hate produce. I'm here to break the loose and fight the devil, ain't no truce. Raise it another level, shame the devil, say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. Take a step in my lane, I'm projecting the pain. Visions and pictures in my veins of us tortured and slain. So many sons and daughters slaughtered from known and a name. Bringing my eye to the situation is why I came. I shake every pet nation gon' exterminate. Marcus Garvey, Mugabe, politic, run them all away. King Pianki type methodology, how the gods slay. Try life and I don't play. Kill these crackers in broad day. Enter the scene, got them clean and watch me swerve out it. Big juju in my pocket, I ain't worried about it. That goes for grown-ups to babies. Salute my Baba Khaled, Muhammad, we solid. I call for violence, is very valid. Yeah, murder these devils, it's divine order. We opposites, I reject them mixing like oil and water. Africa for Africans, representing them words strong. I say shut them borders down and let us get a purge on. I can't shake it loose, this the hate produce. I'm here to break the loose and fight the devil, ain't no truce. Raise it another level, shame the devil, say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. I can't shake it loose, this the hate produce. I'm here to break the loose and fight the devil, ain't no truce. Raise it another level, shame the devil, say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you.
This ain't no kumbaya vibe, my yasa is a war time. That's my war cry, double H famine, it's wartime. Devils want it all, wants peaceful coexistence. And to separation, he's violently resistant. Coupe tech, bullet cop, hit the deck when bullets fly. The devil won't change and needs to be euthanized. The stupidness, foolish minds, you will get used to blind. Suicide, trusting this cracker is suicide. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you know the play. That peace talk is juvenile and really don't hold no weight. Fighting hate with love sounds great in theory, but never ever work in history. Name one place that this cracker went. Name one place that this cracker left alone. I bet that they was war prone. Keep a piece in your wardrobe and know the world's a war zone.
I can't shake it loose, this the hate produce. I'm here to break the loose and fight the devil, ain't no truce. Raise it another level, shame the devil, say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. I can't shake it loose, this the hate produce. I'm here to break the loose and fight the devil, ain't no truce. Raise it another level, shame the devil, say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you.
Woo! I had to play that throwback because it seems a lot of people forget things. You know what I'm saying? What you should be doing. A lot of people forget things. So I had to put that throwback in there while my brother Tag get in here. Let me give some quick shout outs. Yes, Sister Amanette too. How are you and the family? Hope everything is doing good for you and your family in this crucial time. Brother Magnetic Peace Tyson, Brooklyn's very own baby. In the building. How is it down in North Kakalaki? What's good with you, bro? Hope all is well. Sister Joyce, Brother Monty, always on the check-in. Love y'all, love y'all. What's up, Monty? I hope you're behaving now. Aunt Marie, always on the check-in. What's good with your auntie? Had to chop it up for a couple of hours with the aunt on the phone the other night. I think it was the other night or yesterday. I could be wrong. Brother Ray, what's good with you? It was great to see you a couple of weeks ago. You and your grandchildren was chilling out there with Brother Tad and myself, Brother Ashe SJ. What's good with you, Brother Tad?
Ain't nothing, chilling, taking it light, breathing easy, enjoying the vibe. Life is good. Yeah, definitely shout out to Brother Ray Ray. It was definitely good seeing him and the babies out there. You know, it's always a pleasure to see Big Brother Ray. Word. But I'm good, sis. You know, the weather's nice. I took a nice stroll through your hood. I was walking through Fort Greene projects. Said, anybody mess with me? I was like, yo, y'all know Sister Keisha? That's my sister right there. Don't make me call her.
Don't let
But
the
yeah,
legends come out. Don't let the legends come out.
yeah, I mean, today was beautiful. Took a nice stroll from downtown Brooklyn, you know, working on some things, You know, we had the Biggie block party last Saturday. That was dope.
Talk about that. Talk about that. What was that about, Brother Tad? How did it
Oh
turn
man,
out?
the turnout was incredible. It was pretty much kept under wraps though, to tell you the truth. That's why I wasn't too much promotion for it. It was more so of the party later that night. You know, it was two clubs that was gonna host the party. One Little C's was doing with Mr. C, and the other one was CJ. Biggie's son was doing with DJ Enough and a couple of my other people. And the day was beautiful. One thing I always say is that when we do something in our hood, there's never no violence. No matter how many people come out, people come from everywhere. People come just to see Biggie's house, you know. Like, did he really live here? Did he really live on the block? You know, and you know, like I told you before, you know, I grew up with all of them. You know, we go back before the music business. That's why sometimes when people are so critical of Biggie, it's kind of hard for me to chime in because I understood the struggle and what he had to go through to get his family out of that poverty, you know. And the day was so beautiful. So many people came out, politicians, rappers, local celebrities, infamous celebrities. The gangsters was out, you know. But it was a beautiful day, and every time we have something in the hood, it's always love because we still look at our area as the village. All of us was raised with those old school values that you and I hold. You know, that old school village of Brooklyn value system. You know, and it's always so funny. One little girl ran up on me. She said, "Oh my God, you're Tad's dad." I was like, "Yeah." She said, "You don't know me, but it's nice to meet you." Da da da. You know, she knew my son, and she knew my father. She's like, you know, and I love Uncle Frog. He's so crazy. My father's a comedian. Anybody met my father, he have you in stitches for no reason. He's just a funny guy. But I knew her mother because I was like, well, who are you? And she's like, oh, Keisha's my mother. That's a sister that lives on Little C's block. And I was like, oh, I know your mom. I know your whole family. Okay. And it dates me because now I see who I knew to be babies are now young adults, you know, in their 20s, late 20s, 30s. But it was just so much love out there, Sister Keisha. You know, the brother Illa G came out, Jadakiss came out, Smith and Wesson came out. Who else came? Like so many people, so many people.
The
Radio,
streets was lit. The streets was lit for real.
yeah, man. Yo,
It
the
was
line,
all over. It was all over. Even out here in the east, it was all over.
yeah, the lines was crazy for the Metro cards. I got mine though, but it was
Now
just bananas.
that we gonna discuss that in a minute. But go ahead, Brother Ted.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the energy, you know. People were calling me, and I was just telling them it reminds you of back in the days how the hood was in the '90s. Because I don't know if you saw my live that I did on Facebook. You know, just walking up and down Fulton Street, I walked through my old block, and most people was like, "Yo, I thought that was Manhattan. If you didn't show our block, I wouldn't even known that you was in the hood." You know, because it's been transformed and gentrified so much. But the energy that was out there that day for Biggie's birthday was like the energy of when they brought his hearse through when he passed. And they brought his hearse through and it was just electric because like I said, it's a village. And everybody's been scattered all over the place due to gentrification. But when we could come back and celebrate and just commune with one another, and just celebrate the life, see how everybody's been, see people still alive, how they doing. Because of course, outside of all the time passing, you know, since the death of Biggie, these past 2 years have been real traumatic and trying because so many people lost loved ones due to COVID. And we can't forget that too, though. You know, though we're outside without all of our loved ones. You know, I believe
Which
today
is
is,
good because we ain't been outside like that in a minute.
yeah, man. Yeah. And
And
I
I
believe,
got to see a whole lot of people. I'm like, yo, it was a whole lot of people there that I
yeah.
got to see that I haven't seen from LG and all over.
Yeah, LG dudes was out there. Yeah, remember LG and Fort Greene used to be beefing at one point. They used to be the ops. That's what I told LG. I said, ain't it crazy that we cool with Fort Greene folks? And they used to be the ops. And shout out to Sister Tosh Monique, you know what I'm saying, on the check-in, because she's from the village. Sister Tosh Monique. She's part of the village, not just from the village, but she's part of the village. I'm familiar with her brothers, and she's familiar with me. In fact, we got pictures of us in my hall, like back in, I want to say like 95, 96. When everybody used to hang out in my building. I think it was me, Tosh Monique, my man Rob, my man L. I think her brother was in the picture also. But this is where we're from. We're from a village where certain behaviors are expected. You can get into disagreement, but that excessive violence, trying to take each other out, we're not from that, because our families are too close. But nowadays, some young people don't hold that same family value system that you and I hold, Sister Keisha, and folks that tune into the show. But all in all, it was a beautiful day, and we always celebrate that, because no matter how drunk or high the people get out there, nobody bleeds. It's no fights, it's no arguing, it's no stabbings, no shootings, and we keep it that way. As older heads and gangsters of the hood, we keep it that way. Like, yo, you're not gonna do none of that over here, because if that does happen, when the festivities is over, you got to deal with us tomorrow and the day after, and we're not gonna be so kind with our discipline.
Facts.
So
And it's
yeah,
funny
it
you
was.
say that because, as I said, I was talking to one of my aunts night before last on the phone. Right on, Marie? I think it was night before last. And she said the same thing. People from other backgrounds and stuff, they didn't grow up how we grew up. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? And then, we um laid to rest my Aunt Gwen on Tuesday. I know Aunt
Right,
Gwen.
my condolences. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So we laid her to rest on Tuesday. And, a lot of people from Fort Greene show love. And one of the things that Diggy was saying when we was there was, when it came to Fort Greene, you got three sides of Fort Greene projects. You got the Allen, the middle side, and you got the far side. Nobody on the Allen ever killed each other. Never. Never. So goes to what you said, we come from a different cloth, a different breed, which is why it's important, in my opinion, that we do stay grounded and connected with the streets, because they need us now more than ever. So shout out to the OG Wisdom Podcast. I hope y'all
Yes.
checking them out.
Salute my brother C Gutter.
See, Gutter.
Yeah. So we'll have him at the end of next month.
Yes, he'll be on the platform along with the Barudis. We have Mama Ya and Baba and Molly Baruti coming in. So it's going to be a great night. The
Yeah.
last Thursday, I believe, of June. It's going to be crazy. And then we got some other guests, some authors and, African American study professors that I've been conversing with, that we are definitely going to have on this platform. Some more Black owned businesses. I found a great esthetician, and I have been looking for one because I'm very particular. My skin is very sensitive, especially in the summertime. So I get dark spots, around the mouth, around the top of my head and eyes when I'm exposed to the sun a lot. So it does a lot of damage to my skin. So anyway, I found her, and she just happened to be like a half a mile from the house, and her services are superb. So we're definitely going to have her on the program. We'll nail that date out on my next appointment, that is, and some other things. And so it was great to meet C Gutter, great personality, great guy. We even the hubby was out there.
Yes. Shout out to Big Brother Rohan.
He was out there. So we did, we very, very busy. But anyway, I wanted to, and shout out to Brother Ray Ray. Brother Ray Ray on the check-in. He said back in the days, it was Avenue Kings and Queens in Fort Greene. Facts. Facts. Facts, Ray Ray. Facts. I gotta tell you a story about that one day. Remind me when I see you. But anyway, I wanted you to, if you will, Brother Tad, give your perspective as to why, OGs are needed now more than ever.
Oh man, you want to know something so crazy, Sister Keisha? This is a plan by the enemy, and cut straight to the chase. I saw it over 20 years ago, in 1999, 2000. In the late 90s, mid to late 90s, I think the Bloods were real prevalent in New York City, which is wild to me. That was the mid 90s. By 1999, 2000, they were all over the place. But, they were people we knew, people who just needed direction. But what I saw the system doing was rounding everybody up, calling it gang affiliation. Just if you lived in a neighborhood they deemed to be a gang area, they were locking you up if you fit the particular demographic of, let's say, 12 to 22 or 12 to 25. They were just rounding brothers up, locking them up in droves. I mean, 20, 30, 40 people at a time. Y'all had that in Fort Greene as well, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what I realized, right, Sister Keisha, because about 2001, I got jammed up. Because I was still out there. So they were just rounding people up. And what I realized is that they're taking all of the men out of the community. They're removing all of the men, because just because you live in a particular area don't necessarily make you gang affiliated. These are our relatives. These are our childhood friends. And it's almost like how they treat us on the plantation, who we can and can't talk to, And even if they were gang members or whatever, not all of them were violent. Many of them are just trying to figure out a way out of this crazy maze we call North America. So in 2000, 2002, I'm talking about they were locking up 20, 30, 40, 50 black men at a time in each neighborhood, from Fort Greene to Farragut to Red Hook to Marcy to LG, all over. And the one question I said, who's going to raise these little boys? Who's going to raise these kids as they're removing us from our homes? Because now I'm going to tell you, when I was locked up, I was in the law library, I became a jailhouse lawyer. And one of the hardest cases to beat is conspiracy. And that's what they were tying everybody up into, conspiracy. Now, conspiracy is kind of funny because they can have a target person. Let's look at it as a spoke in the wheel. You got one central figure. Now, let's just use Brother Ray Ray, for example. Let's say Brother Ray Ray is the one they're looking at. He knows me, but I don't know you, but Brother Ray Ray knows you. So you're on the other end of the wheel. You're a spoke going that way. I'm a spoke going the other way. But they're going to try to tie us all in together. Now, whatever me and Ray Ray got going on has nothing to do with you. Whatever you and Ray Ray got going on has nothing to do with me. Whatever Ray Ray and Brother Mike, whoever he knows. And they tie us all in together. So next thing you know, there's an indictment with a Sister Keisha and a Brother Tad, and you're looking at your paperwork like, I don't even know these people. And now you got to prove that you're not involved in any of the allegations that's on the indictment. And it's up to the burden of proof is pretty much on you. They say the burden of proof is on the state, but the burden of proof is on you to prove that you don't know these people. But that's going to take time and money. And if you don't have the money, then they're going to make sure you got the time. And you're going to sit there and you're going to fight and you're going to fight. And chances are they try to get you to turn state's evidence, become a witness against people. So whether you know anything or not, you're just trying to get home. Because jail ain't no Club Med, it ain't no vacation spot, contrary to what some people may say. So with that, all of the men and the OGs were tied up in this legal system. Meanwhile, the children still grow, with or without you there. They grow. But now the influences change because you got this bombardment of television and music and printed media all on the buses and in the subways, giving subliminal messages, giving blatant messages. And now you got it 20 years later, you see all of these little dudes don't know what real manhood is, don't know how to be men. And because 20 years ago, these 22-year-olds were babies. They were newborn. So now here they growing up with false images of what manhood is given to them by the enemy via television, social media, um, and like I said, printed media, because sometimes we ignore the posters that's on the buses and in subways, but they give subliminal messages too. Bestiality, homosexuality, all kind of levels of deviance that's being subconsciously programmed in these children's mind. And without the men to be there to correct the improper behavior, these children are going to see this as acceptable because it's daily. It's daily. Like I remember I saw a bus that just had the poster on the front said sex museum. So now you
Yes,
think,
it's in Midtown. Yes.
right. So you think of a museum as a place to go learn and be educated. But then when you put the sex there, and we know that children learning sex outside of the home is never a good thing. You know, sex should always be taught at home because people are going to implement their deviance in that curriculum to teach children. So what makes the OG so important is now a lot of them are coming home. Some of them got out back in the early 2000s, got jobs, and just said, you know what, I'm going to leave these streets alone, only focus on my little circle, and excluded the village. So we no longer had a village mentality when we got out of them people clutches. And to be honest with you, sis, I almost fell for that trap. Because when I got out, I said, you know what, I'm not going back that route. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to just get me a job. But you know what happened? I would go to work, come home every day. All I would do was go sit on my couch, get fat, watch TV, wait for bedtime, and repeat the cycle. So I became a robot, even though I knew better. I just knew I didn't want to go back to jail, you know. But then, of course, the spirit of the ancestors said, come on, Tad, you're too valuable to just be wasting your life away on the couch, getting fat, watching what's going on in the world, and not doing anything about it. You know, so I had to get up off the couch and get back out there in the streets and, you know, kick it with the children, volunteer with the organizations, join organizations, and do whatever I could do to help move the community forward. And so with OG Wisdom Podcast, what our plan is to reach out to all the real OGs that have been locked up, the ones who have been through this experience that our young people are now going through, and give them our perspective for how the world really was before they were even born, how all of this is designed. It's a well-orchestrated plan by those who don't want to see us prosper. I read a post the other day said Joe Biden did more for Ukrainians than he did for black people, which is true. I mean, they're getting billions of dollars. We still asking
Facts,
for our,
brother. Facts. And I'm glad you brought those points up. You know, like as you said, back in the late 80s and throughout the 90s, that's how most people were locked up. Even a lot of women caught up in the RICO Act. You
yes,
dating somebody who doing something or what have you, or they believe to be doing something, suspect or whoever. A lot of women got wrapped up in that too, and a lot of children were left to be raised by grandparents and strangers. Then, you know, that stress added to the family exacerbated the addiction to hardcore drugs. And so a lot of children were born out of that chemical imbalance,
yes,
on top of growing up in various housing projects. I can speak for New York that had lead paint. So there were a lot of things in play with that, which is why I say if there are any reputable black law firms, we are due for many class action lawsuits, especially those of us of Generation X who had to come through that. Um, it seems to frighten a lot of attorneys, even when I speak to them about it. It seems, well, they tell me it is a huge feat, but I don't believe that because other groups have formed class action lawsuits successfully on lesser things. You know, you had, for example, in Ohio, where you have a bombardment of meth heads out there. There were so many deaths in the state of Ohio at one point that they didn't know what to do with the bodies. This was prior to COVID. Um, a lot of families got together and filed class action lawsuit against the state and were successful. Right now, there are young people in a Texas class action lawsuit again, who were suing parents, doctors, and others who allowed them to have sex change operations as children.
Wow.
So people are doing it on less having less of an issue than we did coming through the crack era. So I don't believe that. I know that it can be costly, but it has to be done. We who grew up in any housing project in the city of New York, any time you came through a building and the hallways were dark, where the elevators weren't working, where you have right now, if you go through, you was in Fort Greene a couple of weeks ago. When you go out there, just about every project now, I don't know what kind of renovations that's going on, but there are these scaffoldings that are up and there is no lighting. So if something happens to you, NYCHA is responsible for your security as well. And so a lot of lawsuits need to happen right now. But unfortunately, you don't have courageous attorneys, Black attorneys, that is, to take this monumental feat on. Even now with this, during this pandemic, these mandates that were imposed upon the citizens, those who were employed, the unions failed them. These unions must be sued. There is a problem with that. Everyone capitulates to the system, and that causes big government, and big government is no good for the people. It never has been productive in the world, and it never will be. Nobody could tell me how to run my household, my community, or my life, and big government is stepping in to force people to live an ideal that is not conducive to our culture. So we have to have some class action lawsuits on the table for sure. But let me see here. Brother P said, whenever they, the colonizer, wants an African Black person, they go after everyone connected and say you're part of a gang. That's facts. Three of us together wearing the same color can be considered a gang. And read the law. It's a trap designed to get as many of us as possible. Yet, if they are white, then most cases, they just focus on that one person. Could be, brother Magnetic Tyson. Removing elders is designed to cut off communication with the next generation to provide guidance and direction. Absolutely. Yes. I see that with young ladies, being, one of the things about my Aunt Gwen, and peace be upon her, and all of my aunts, my mother, there was a level of class, a level of regalness about them. I don't have to boast what I feel, what I believe, my standing is. My approach to everyone in life lets you know who I am. A woman of class and grace. A lot of people don't have that today. You have women who, we had some conversations with my brother Ashe SJ that'll be coming in here in a minute, that will do anything, wear anything, and you expect to be progressive. That's not the case, ladies. That's not the case. It never has been. And then too, let me digress for a minute. Going back to the neighborhood or what have you, you see all the people who live that life. especially the women, how run down they look, how old and tired they look. That's not the way to go. Um, you get more doing less. Let me tell you that, ladies. You will get more doing less. Trust me. The era of surprise is always grateful. Trust me when I tell you that. Um, Now I have two men here, so they will tell you if I'm right or wrong.
You're 100% right.
So I'm just saying, my uncles would not allow us to carry ourselves in that way. I am in my 50s and I am humble to my aunts and uncles. You understand what I'm saying? Humble to the elders in the community. I don't know, but I know that our presence is needed and we got to keep on pushing on because if we don't, we are headed into a quicker spiral of denigration. And the way it's going, we don't have a choice. It's us
You know,
against everybody.
sis, and it's funny you say that. Peace, brother Ashe. Definitely want to acknowledge our brother. But real quick, I think with the death of Kevin Samuels brought a lot of that to the head as well. 2 weeks ago he passed. Um, I think what happens is I was sharing with someone that I used to watch Kevin Samuels years ago when he was only for men, right? It was all about frames, fragrance, and footwear. That was his platform. He talked about stylish glasses for men. He talked about fragrances for men. He talked about footwear, just as a style, as he liked to call himself, an image consultant for men. What happened was he started going live just for men, and women started bum rushing his platform. And he started realizing that he gets more attention from women than men. And, once he had told a woman off, it went viral. And that's how we come to know the Kevin Samuels that we know now, because the one I used to watch was a meek, mild-mannered dude. And I say that to say that his presence fuels a rift that was already growing between men and women. Because on the other side of the spectrum, you have women that hold a similar position to Kevin Samuels, but on the side of women. And I'm a student of Dr. Clark, and he said we can't win the war with half the army. So we don't subscribe to male-female wars. But to your point about where women are today and where men are today, it's a big how can I say it? It's a discrepancy as to what we're supposed to represent and what our elders teach us. When we were coming up, we all had brothers, sisters, and cousins. So there wasn't the boys are better than the girls are better than the boys. We weren't raised that way. But again, like I said, once they removed the people from the home, this negative image of who we are as Black folks was reinforced, because even when you used to watch talk shows, because look, we had Jerry Springer fueling this nonsense. We had Maury fueling this nonsense way before there was a Kevin Samuels and a Tasha K or whoever. This has always been brewing in our community, but we recognized it for what it was, the enemy trying to cause trouble amongst the righteous people. But now it has got so out of hand. Somebody said recently, they said, I wish sisters would put more energy into what goes in their head than what goes on their face. And I really felt that, because too often a lot of sisters think we care about the image and her looking good. That's for Instagram dudes. But real men want somebody that's genuine. You can't expect me to like you and you don't like yourself. And the same thing for men. Because like I said, when I used to watch Kevin Samuels, and that was years ago, I tell you, since he's become popular, I haven't even watched one show. I can't, because something about the energy of it all irks my spirit. But who I used to watch would always, he had a series called What Your Father Should Have Taught You, which I loved, and it was profound. It was like just about how men should be clean. Keep yourself clean. Make sure your underwear clean. Wash your clothes. Like simple stuff that we know a lot of men don't know. Because we still see brothers out here 30, 40, 50 years old, still don't know the basics. You know what I'm saying? Wash your face.
Get a dental plan.
Get a dental plan. Brush your teeth. Exactly. And that's when I could get with it, because I was already doing that. But it was funny that in this day and age, you still have to tell men these things. But now it's time for sisters to, you know, learn that there's some female etiquette that needs to take place as well. You know, let the brothers handle the brothers and the sisters handle the sisters. You know, I've never joined the Nation of Islam, but I think a lot of sisters need that Muslim girl training or something, you know, just to learn how to conduct themselves, because real men are not really impressed by the foolishness. That only works for social media, the Instagram likes and all that. But of substance, somebody you want to have a child with, somebody you want to raise a family with, that ain't it. That ain't it. But brother Ashe.
Facts. Before we get into with Ashe, because I just wanted to say that we had an issue, or we have an issue with a young person in the family, right? The call the other night was with my aunt, my cousin, and my daughter. So you had three generations discussing an issue with about another family member on how we should approach it. You understand what I'm saying? So these things are very, very key. Women, I don't know how y'all brothers do it. This hygiene is out of control. I don't know. I can't rock with it. I don't know. But anyway, as you said, just basic things as hygiene is a problem. I'm sorry, Gen Zers, but y'all got a problem. Y'all really got a problem. But anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I see my brother Ashe Jay is in the building. What's good with you, Ashe?
Yeah. No, that's a real conversation, man. It's funny because, like, you know, not to pick on the sisters or anything, because as brothers, we got a lot going on as well. But, you know, I don't be on social media like that, but I put a post up the other day and I got like mad comments. Everybody talking about, you know, what's happening with our sisters right now, especially the young sisters. You know, so I came in and y'all were talking about, you know, the dress code and what it seems like they doing now to get attention and things of that nature. And it's crazy, you know, it's definitely facts to it. You know what I'm saying? Things have changed and it's getting worse and worse, you know, and it's really unfortunate. Like Keisha said, you know, the things that used to be special and sacred and, you know, exclusive, you know, it's not exclusive anymore. But I bet I would actually take it a step further and say now, like, if we look at it differently, like Ty say, peel the layers back. We used to seeing it like, man, y'all just being loose and y'all just, you know, giving it up like that. But now, if we really peel back the layers now and look at it in this new generation, who are the sisters that's dressing like that? Who are they dressing like that for? You know what I'm saying? Because remember, they always say now, oh, I'm not dressing like this for men. That's what they say, right? They say, I'm not dressing like this. A man doesn't determine how I dress or what I go outside and wear and stuff like that. So then my question now is, are you dressing like that for women? Exactly what it is. That's exactly.
Come on.
Because it started with, they said they independent. Remember, they said they independent. They said they don't need no man. No man can tell me what to wear. No wig, no weave. Whatever I want, I'm wearing it. If I want to wear a goddamn a string around my neck, and that's all I got on, I'm wearing it because I feel comfortable and good. I'm a proud, independent woman, right? They started doing it for themselves. But now, some of these sisters, not all, don't get it twisted, but a lot of these sisters, especially these young ones, is wearing it for other women. And it's multi-layered. It's so many different levels to what we're talking about. Because you got the sisters that it started out with competition. Because we know Black women, Keisha will tell you, they are always competing with each other. It's so unfortunate that a lot of our sisters, how many of y'all listening audience that are women right now, that's watching us right now? How many women friends do y'all have? And I know, of course, we got a great audience, and we preach it to the choir. It's people in here that, you know, are really African centered and things of that nature. But the average Black woman has a very hard time finding women friends. At least the ones that I know. The ones I know, they always say, oh, I only got one or two here and there, blah, 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 blah. Women are always butting heads. It's hard to keep a woman friend. I know so many sisters that don't have women friends. You know what I'm saying? And it started like they doing a competition, competing with each other. Oh, this one wear this, and now I'm wearing this. But now with the young generation, it's starting to get into they wearing it to impress, not to compete, but to impress the other woman. And it's going so far now that they wearing it not to impress, but to attract the other woman. So this is the direction that we're going, because if you look at high school, you look at kids, man, don't ask me why I know this, because I don't listen to this artist, but they got a new artist out. Her name is Kalani. I think she's mixed or something like that, half black, half white. But she's a big artist right now. Her name is Kalani. She just put a music video out, I think yesterday or today. And I just saw a clip of it, and it was her. And in the song, she kind of steals a line from India Ari. India Ari made that brown skin song. She said, "Oh, I can't tell where yours ends and mine begins." That's what she said, talking about the brown skin. Kelani said the same kind of line, right? She said, "I can't tell where your skin ends and mine begins," or something like that. But she talking about a woman in the song. Just put a video out, and the video got a whole, what y'all call them? I don't even know what your studs. That's what they call it. Got a whole stud.
My grandma called them bull daggers.
That's what I was about to say, Chad. A bull dagger.
Bull dagger.
She G'd up in a video, this new Kalani video. G'd up, but Kalani, we don't know these artists, but the kids love these artists. These are huge big artists. Billboard Music Awards, Grammys. These are the artists that you see walking the red carpet nowadays. We don't know who they are, but everybody else do. She just put this out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are our sisters really doing it for? And don't get it wrong. Like I said, some women love fashion and things of that nature, but we talking specifically about the women that they can't go outside unless they look like a baddie, and they got to be on the scene all the time. You know what I'm saying? And if you take that away, they self-esteem just drop. Like if you got those things and you fly, you get fresh, that's one thing. But if you feel like you less of a person, unless you have those things, and you feel like you have to have those things to compete with the other woman or to attract another woman, and you don't care what a goddamn man think, I don't know, family. All I know is we had these conversations and we talk about the youth and these young sisters and how you go to their high school, you go to their junior high school, you see that it's girl on girl. That's what they doing nowadays. It's a normal thing. You know what I'm saying? This is the world we in. The goddamn, one of the biggest news topics right now is about the NBA girl, right? The NBA star, Brittany.
Yes, Brittany Griner, I think her name is. Yeah, Brittany Griner. Yeah.
Trapped up. Where is that? Ukraine or something? She trapped up, or
in Russia? Yeah.
It's unfortunate, you know, but she's also somebody that identify. And if you look at WNBA, they already put out articles about how most of them, you know, swing in that direction. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when we look at it, we just trying to say like we can't understand how. I mean, of course, we know like the level of the media manipulation and things of the nature, but the fact that so many of our people are falling for it, you know what I'm saying? So many of our people, especially our young people, we just like every generation is getting worse and worse, and we're getting more and more away from our morals and our principles about who we are, where we come from. You know what I'm saying? It's really unfortunate, yo. So we gotta do something. We gotta make some kind of strategic plan. You know what I'm saying? But in the world that we living in, they put it to a level where it's like you can't even strategize against it. Because if you do, they setting up laws that are hate crimes and things of that nature. That I'm not saying you go out there and hurt nobody, but I'm just saying like discrimination, all of these crazy things. Like you can't even say certain things and you can't even do certain things and move the way you want to, you know? So for us to even try to say, look, we want to actually uphold our morals and our principles. And this is who we are. And if you are like that, then that's fine. If you try to do that, it's gonna be some kind of problem. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
and it's funny
But you go ahead, Brother Tad.
No, I was gonna say, because what Ashe is saying 100% right and exact. Because remember, when we was in the former movement, that's what our platform was, and we was met with all kind of resistance. Because anytime and Frederick Douglass said this, he said, anytime a black person want to do something self-destructive or non-productive, they get all type of support. But anytime you want to move forward and improve yourself, you get met with all kind of resistance. And that is so true. Frederick Douglass said that in his book, The Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass. And that's pretty much what you're saying, Ashe, which I agree with. You know, when we do structure something to tell our people, look, we're better than this. We're better than these false images, because now it's life imitating art as opposed to art imitating life. We're acting out these behaviors that are not even of our own. These created by the tastemakers, as I believe Dr. Amos Wilson said it, or maybe Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. But one of our scholars said, you know, we can't afford to follow the tastemakers. They're telling us what's the flavor of the day, and like blind sheep, we're just running right behind it. You know, what Dr. Francis Cressy Wilson said, oh, today we're doing girl on girl today. Okay, give me some of that. Oh, we playing with monkeys today. I'll have some of that. Said we just keep following them. Monkey see, monkey do, till one day the monkey slit his throat. And that's what's happening with us. We're doing everything the monkeys are doing, and one day the monkey gonna slit his throat, and we'll follow suit and slit our own throat. We don't recognize that we are still at war, and everything that don't work in our favor is against us, intentionally and strategically. This is still part of their genocidal mayafa against us. And we have to be mindful. That's why I don't even get in too much into the gender wars, because we all got some stuff with us, men and women. But then we got to peel back the layers and look at our personal life and ask, how well together is our personal life? Are we really having loving relationships with people in our own family? Because I know there's some family members I really don't want to be around, and that's something I got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? There's still things about myself that I can improve, and I'm cognizant of that. So I don't really have time to be pointing fingers at other people when I know there's things about myself that I'm still developing. And I think if we all take that mindset of trying to assist one another instead of tearing one another down, we could turn our condition around overnight, because then we'll understand that what we're doing is bigger than us. It's for our children. It's to ensure that our children and our grandchildren won't have to take on this fight, because we've seen what went on in Buffalo. And it was like rinse, wash, repeat. You know, and it's almost swept under the rug since we had the Latino on Latino violence the other day. It's almost as if our elders weren't even massacred anymore, but they still talking this tough gun law stuff. I mean, there's so many tentacles that we have to address and attack to free ourselves from, because they're still trying to attack the Second Amendment. And we all know this to be factual. The highest gun violence states are the ones with the strictest gun laws. So, I mean, let me walk with peace. You ain't got to wait for the police.
You know what's crazy, bro, that you mentioned that, because the Alphabet Crew is real silent right now about their man that just did that. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, he was in the picture with a full Batman cape on, or whatever kind of, he had the cape. Y'all saw that picture?
Nah, I didn't. What's his name?
He had a pink cape. I said,
Salvador Ramos.
He like a superhero, a gay superhero.
Yeah, that's
but,
right. That's his name, Salvador Ramos. That's his name.
I'm pulling it up now.
They not claiming that one. It's crazy, yo. You on mute, sis. You on mute.
Sorry about that. We're gonna get into Texas. We're gonna get into Buffalo, but I want you, Brother Ashe, to discuss the pilgrimage to the resting place of Brother Malcolm. I know you attended. Let our people know what that was like, what it was about. You know, what happened.
Yeah. First, I definitely got to salute Brother Tad, and I didn't catch the other brother name. I got to meet him, but the brother that really put together the whole give back to the community day. I definitely got to salute
Brother Claude.
Yes.
Brother Claude.
Shout out to Claude.
I talked to him. It was cool. He was a cool brother, man. I didn't get to go the second day, but yo, that was a good vibe, you know, just to see the community out, all of the free stuff that they had, the giveaways, all of that. It was beautiful, man. Just reminds you that we could really do for self. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had people that work in phone companies and people with you know, all kind of giveaways and stuff like that. Wherever you work at, that's your resource. We sharing that to the people. You know what I'm saying? So that was a beautiful thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. So shout out to y'all for working that out, Tad, for coming through and getting the dope interviews. I can't wait to see those interviews.
Yes.
Yeah, because he did his thing. Tad had the professional equipment out there. I'm like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
Damn. Taking it to Radio City with it or something. But yeah, it's about to be a problem, man. So, you know, definitely be on the lookout for those interviews and all of that. But yeah, I had the privilege once again to travel to Malcolm X's gravesite, which is in White Plains, New York, pretty much Westchester County, I think it's Westchester, White Plains. Yeah, it's White Plains, which is in Westchester. But anyway, Ferncliff Cemetery, man, it's just amazing to get back out there, you know, because of the pandemic. You know, they haven't been taking any buses out there like they normally do. You know, but normally every year they have bus loads, free buses. I'm talking about you could go to 125th Street in Harlem and get on a bus for free and take your black tail to the pilgrimage. You know what I'm saying? So you don't got no excuse. But because of the pandemic and things of that nature, it's coming back to normal. This year they did cars only, but it was amazing. And before I even talk about that, I gotta give a shout out once again to the Baba Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? Because not only was his birthday, but also, what was it? What's today's day? Yesterday was, today's the 26th. Yesterday was African Liberation Day. So that's a very powerful day. Not a lot of us celebrate it and, you know, really embrace what it means and the culture and things of that nature. If you don't know, African Liberation Day is May 25th of every year. And it was created and started when I believe it was 1963. May 25th, 1963, 32 African nations came together and created the Organization of African Unity, the AOU. So these nations, these countries came together. They said, we got to organize, we got to get together. And this holiday, I like it a lot because it's a specifically Pan-African holiday. This ain't no watered down, we just Black Americans or whatever holiday where we celebrate slavery and nothing like that. African Liberation Day. Some people call it Africa Day, but that's for short. It's African Freedom Day or African Liberation Day. That's what it's really titled. You know what I'm saying? And also shout out to Eritrea because yesterday was their Independence Day as well. So shout out to them. But
that's where Nipsey from.
What'd you say?
That's where Nipsey Hussle family from.
Nipsey Hussle's from there, exactly. Right. But yeah, African Liberation Day is a very powerful day, man. And you know, we need to really be focused on that and put in all of our efforts into uniting and just making sure that, you know, we are connected and tapped into what's going on in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw with the Buffalo shooting, and of course it's very important and things of that nature, but I also saw some people had posted some stuff and they was like, oh, this is like the last straw for Africans, for Black people, and we got to make stuff happen and things of that nature. And that's very true. But at the same time, a brother or a sister, one of them from the motherland had commented back and it was like, yeah, but we also got to make sure that we are aware of what's happening everywhere else, like in Africa, because it might not be a massacre like this, but our brothers and sisters in Africa are getting murdered every single day, getting oppressed just like we are. And so many tragedies happen, especially natural tragedies. Natural tragedies happen all the time in Africa where our brothers and sisters get murdered, landslides, you know what I'm saying? All kind of crazy stuff. And like when these things happen, you don't see the diaspora and the outrage or uproar, you know what I'm saying? For the motherland. That's specifically because we're not tapped in. We don't really understand what's going on. So that's why I really like African Liberation Day, because it's the sense of Pan-Africanism, as understanding that Black people everywhere are the same people. In this fight, whatever happens in England, whatever happens in the West Indies, in Africa, or right here in Bed-Stuy, it's all the same people. It's all our fight. And wherever we at, we all fighting together. So Pan-Africanism, African Liberation Day. And I also got to shout out to Baba Malcolm X, because it was after the OAU, that Organization of African Unity, was created, that inspired Baba Malcolm X to create the OAAU, which is his organization, the Organization of Afro-American Unity. And that organization is still functioning to this day. In fact, when I was out there at the pilgrimage at Malcolm X's gravesite, Professor James Smalls, he's one of the people that actually organized the Malcolm X pilgrimage to the gravesite every year. And he organizes it under the OAAU, the Organization of Afro-American Unity. Because Professor James Smalls, I believe, if he's not, or at one point he was like the president. I think he still is the president of the OAAU, or maybe in a New York chapter. One of the two, but he's definitely a very big member of the Organization of Afro-American Unity, which was founded by Malcolm X. And like I mentioned, it was inspired by these 32 African nations coming together and creating the OAU, Organization of African Unity. So it was very powerful, and not only that, like we said, it was the Baba's birthday to be out there and just experience that. I mean, we had Professor James Smalls, like I mentioned, we had Rosalind and Leonard Jeffries was out there. Both of the elders was out there. I got a picture with them and all of that, so I'm gonna post that up. I didn't post it up yet, but I just got the opportunity to sit and talk with Professor Smalls, and I ain't do too much like recording or nothing like that. I just put a little bit of stuff up there, but just to really experience that and like hear what the elder has to say, it's really precious. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in an era where we see like so many people are transitioning. Like, look at the world we living in. You know what I'm saying? Black people, everybody, even not Black, everybody is gone. You know what I'm saying? Everybody transitioning. So the elders that we have right now, it's very, very imperative that we sit at their feet and take notes. You know what I'm saying? Write it down, record it, mentally record it, do something. We got to pass it on and keep the tradition going and realize that we are the next elders. You know what I'm saying? We are the next ones, and we really have to make sure that we are preparing ourselves for that responsibility, because we can't be less than them. We got to be greater than them. You know what I'm saying? So it was amazing just to experience that. And, I've been there before, of course, but, since the pandemic happened, nobody was able to go. But I think they were still doing it live on maybe Professor James Smalls live. They were still doing it.
Yeah,
But
I saw it. I saw quite a few.
Yeah. But remember also, I had the opportunity, because this Ferncliff Cemetery is a very powerful place. I mean, so many powerful people besides Malcolm X.
His wife is there as well, isn't she?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Betty Shabazz is in the same plot. She's right next to him, buried in the same plot. And we can't say Malcolm without saying Betty. You know what I'm saying? Because she did some powerful work. And if it wasn't for her, Baba Malcolm wouldn't have been able to be as great as he was. You know what I'm saying? So we got to study the life of Betty Shabazz as well. Malcolm X's grandson, I believe is Latif, right? He's buried there as well. You know what I'm saying? And we all know that he went out. Go ahead.
Malcolm Latif Shabazz?
Exactly, Latif.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's buried there as well. But the great Tag got the opportunity to meet him. I got the opportunity to go to the grave site.
Yeah.
I had to go visit Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Peace be upon the great. He is buried. His resting place is in the same cemetery as Malcolm X. So I got the opportunity to visit that. Like I said, I visited it before, but it's a pilgrimage. I feel like you should, if you in the area, you got that privilege, you should make that pilgrimage at least once a year, something like that, or once in your lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So Dr. Khalid Muhammad is there. Paul Robeson, another heavy hitter. Paul Robeson is buried in that same cemetery. Also, a treat. I didn't even know this, but I went, shout out to Tony and Ariel. I didn't even know, but they went with us this year. and they told me that Aaliyah was buried there. So I went and got the opportunity to see Aaliyah's goddamn
That I didn't know.
Yeah, I got a picture of it and all that. I'm gonna post it so y'all can see it.
The singer Aaliyah Horton.
Aaliyah, singer Aaliyah Horton, baby girl Aaliyah. She is buried there. So I got the opportunity.
Dr. Ben is buried there too, right?
Who?
Is Dr. Ben buried there?
I'm just gonna say that. So many people are buried there, bro. Dr. Ben is there, but unfortunately, we were trying to visit Dr. Ben, but Dr. Ben doesn't have a headstone. You know, so that's he's in an unmarked plot, an unmarked grave. So I mean, you could probably try to find out where it is, but you ain't really gonna see nothing. But yeah, Dr. Ben, the great Dr. Ben, Yosef Ben Yakinen is there. Aaliyah, though, that was a treat, man, for us to get there and pay that tribute and respect to Aaliyah, the great.
Shout out to Tony and Ariel too.
Yeah, definitely.
That was a treat, man. So we got to see her, Ozzy Davis and his queen.
I was about to say that. Ozzy and Ruby. Yep.
Ozzy Davis is there. Thelonious Monk is in the same cemetery, jazz powerhouse. Even James Baldwin. James Baldwin is there. I didn't get to see that. He's there. So many powerful people there. So if you're not even from New York or whatever, if you make this trip, trust me, it's well worth it. Just make sure you take some fruit or some water to pour libations or something. Bring some flowers or whatever you want. But you know it's a tradition for African people to pour libation and, bring an offering or whatever the case is. Nothing too crazy. But, it was definitely a privilege and an honor to go there. And you can't just go there and just, go there and that's it. Like you going to take a picture and sightseeing and be a tourist. Nah, that's a spiritual thing. If you go there, you got to realize, like when I got the college gravesite, I took my sneakers and my socks off and I put my feet in the grass and I channeled that energy. You know what I'm saying? Because us African people, that's what we do. We don't go nowhere where Asasaya, which is Mother Earth. We don't go nowhere and keep our shoes on like we still in a concrete jungle. We put our feet in the soil, on the grass, and we tap in and connect with Asasaya, Mother Earth. And that was where Khalid was buried. So, I had to tap in and channel that energy, man. So make sure when you go with the right mind state and go prepared to come out, leaving charged up and ready to do some work. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick, before you move on to your next point, because I want to stay right there real quick. Last time I went to Ferncliff, it was me and Dr. Jahi Issa. Shout out to him. I know he's in Africa right now doing some work. But he did just what you said. We went with candy and coins and stuff, and we went to the gate and gave our offering. And he said, all right, we're going to go back to the car and wait for a sign. Mind you, it was pouring rain when we went. And I'm going to make this real quick. It was mad funny because we went and sat in the car, and I said, well, what's the sign we waiting for? He said, we'll know, right? And then he said, hold up. You see that? I was like, what? It stopped raining. So it stopped raining. We walked in. We paid our respects to Dr. Khalid. And I'm going to tell you, Baba Malcolm was playing hide and seek with us because we went right to where he was buried and didn't find it. And we like, yo, hold up. We know he right here somewhere. Yo, we had the number and everything. For some reason, we didn't get it. And then we asked the groundskeeper, and he showed us. And we was like, yo, we've been here the whole time. It was like it was skipping the number, his number. And it was funny. I was like, is he playing a joke on us? Because, our ancestors like to play jokes. But we went, commune with the ancestors. And we came back and did some powerful things together. You know what I'm saying? I look forward to Dr. Esau coming back to stateside, but he's doing.
He's in the Gambia right now.
Right, in Gambia, right. But he's doing a lot of work over there. So to your point, Ashe, we don't want the folks to just go like tourists. It really has to be spiritual, and you got to go there with the right intent, and even ask questions, ask for guidance. In some way, somehow, you'll get the answer. That's all I just wanted to add on to your point, bro.
You're absolutely right, bro. That's why we call it a pilgrimage. You know what I'm saying? What did Baba Malcolm X do? When he had his pilgrimage, he went to Mecca. You know what I'm saying? To pray, to get his mind right, to come back and do more work and be more powerful. That's what a pilgrimage is. So you go and you're not just going to visit and say hello. you go in and channel that energy and channel it into something else more positive and do some real work. And it's a spiritual thing, you know. You can't go around the ancestors, or you can't even, not even if you go on a pilgrimage, you can't even call on the ancestors and say you're going to do something and don't do it. Try it. Try calling on the ancestors, say you're going to do something and don't do it. If you don't do it, watch how many other obstacles and all kind of other things start falling apart in your life. You start dropping stuff, breaking stuff, you start missing things, you can't find stuff. All kind of plans you had start falling apart. That's because you can't do that. The ancestors is alive. Just because they're not in a physical presence, don't think they still not here. You know what I'm saying? So you can't play around with that. And that's why, like, it's crazy because I mentioned too, like when I had posted that thing online, you know, I know this sister and we cool. I ain't friends like cool tight like that, but I know of her or whatever. So we cool. And I'm talking to her and she like, yeah, she only wear white now. Cause she just got initiated in Ifa. I'm like, wow, that's a beautiful thing. That's dope. Black sister in Ifa. That's what's up. Hour after that, we still talking. She talking about how she had let another girl do this and that to her. I ain't gonna get vulgar, but she said something deeper than that. She was like, I let this girl do this and that to me. I'm like, and you ain't Ifa? Who initiated you? You know what I'm saying? But this is the thing. This is what's happening now, you know? So like, you can't play around with that kind of stuff, like spiritual stuff, ancestors. You can't play around with it. You could play if you want, but you're going to see the repercussions in your life, family. If you come to certain things, that's what I'm saying. Like all these people that want to deal with sage and crystals and tarot cards and all of that, they don't really understand the importance of this stuff. They don't understand how dangerous it is at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because our ancestors don't play. You know, we about getting this work done. You know, so if you playing around with certain things and you don't really know what you're playing around with, you might be biting off a lot more than you could chew, family. It's best to just stay away from this. So not to discourage nobody, but listen, it's people that's serious about this African liberation and freeing ourselves and healing ourselves. And there's people that play with it. If you one of those, just leave it alone, family. Do yourself a favor because it's not going to work out for you in the end. You feel me? Like it might look good for now, but in the end, it's not going to work out for you. And that's not a hex or me trying to throw nothing on. I've seen it. I've seen people that have been in this movement, Black Power, whatever you want to call it. Look, we've all seen it. We've all seen these people that come before the community, not even on the spiritual side of it, but just on the Black Power side of it. And they call all the ancestors' names. Right? Don't they do that? They say, I studied under this and that in the dirt.
Facts.
Where they happen to be at in the end. Behind bars, you know what I'm saying?
Losing their mind.
Dealing with crazy stuff. What you said, bro?
I said losing their mind.
Losing their mind.
On that stuff.
Yup, on that stuff. Drugged out. You know what I'm saying? Or they just turn turncoat and sell out and start dealing with the devil intimately. You know what I'm saying? Or
come on.
Disowning everything that they said that they claimed and leaving the community, talking about they don't even like Black people no more.
Right.
Like kind of craziness. You think that's a coincidence, family? Nah, that's because some of these people is playing around with it. And they doing these things for likes, for comments, for clout, popularity, Instagram, YouTube. They doing it for all the wrong reasons. They not genuine. And on the flip side, you got people that are genuine, that been doing it for so long and not getting the recognition, not even the recognition, the support that is needed to really execute some of these things that we trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So we got to realize like who the real is and who the fake is, and, you know, really start supporting and adding to the cipher instead of always trying to take away from it. But yeah, I'm gonna step up.
That's what's up. I'm glad, you know, you were able to do that and see that. And there's a lot more out there, but we'll discuss that at a different time. Maybe we can have a trip later on in the year where we could have a pilgrimage up there and take some people up there who may never have been up there. But moving right along, Buffalo, this mass shooting that took place in the county of Buffalo, New York, upstate New York. This guy, what's his name? Gentron, um, Payton Gendron, 18-year-old, a self-proclaimed white supremacist, entered into a New York Buffalo supermarket and murdered 10 African Americans. This guy, as we said many times before, that these are not lone wolves. Do not let mainstream media tell you that BS, that they're a lone wolf and this person is just, out of their cock-picking mind. And nope, nope, nope. There is a plan, there is a strategy, and there is an agenda. And if you've read his manifesto, you would clearly know that. We have discussed these type of attacks many times on this platform. We have warned the community to be on alert and to be aware of your surroundings. Sometimes we are so wrapped up in ourselves. I see people even losing their children while their nose is in a phone. You're not paying attention. Most of these people were older. Um, he came in the supermarket blazing. He apologized to Caucasians who were in the store, letting them leave, get out of the way. The three of us have seen the video. I'm not going to play it here tonight, but he went on a rampage. And a lot of our people, those 10, couldn't get out of the way in time. A very, very dangerous situation. There was one brother, shout out to him. I forget his name real quick, but he and his daughter were in the store looking to purchase some ingredients to make a cake for his wife for her birthday. They were able to escape and or hide.
Hid in the freezer, yeah.
Yeah, they hid in the freezer, right, brother Tad?
Even shot in the freezer.
Huh?
He shot in the freezer.
Yes,
Missed
yes.
it. Yeah.
This guy Payton Gendron shot in the freezer. But he had scoped out the supermarket and the area months beforehand. And see, I've always said on this platform, y'all too comfortable with these folks around you. All of them make me nervous. All of them. All of them. Them, the other, listen.
Yeah.
All of them suspect. Even they children. Because I know y'all saw that video of this boy beating on this black girl's door with a damn whip.
Yes.
Yep.
So y'all can play games if you want to with these folks.
And how did that end, sis?
It ended, well, we're going to play the video in a minute because I didn't want to jump ahead. I'll just mention it in conversation. We're going to play the video. But to be in a state of comfortableness around these people is insane. It is insane. You can, a lot of us, unfortunately, we live in areas that are now gentrified. So you have to be on alert for real. Coming home from work, going to school, going about your business. This supermarket, this top supermarket, actually, from my reading, is the only major supermarket in the area, which is also a problem. That means that area, as we have said a couple of months ago on this platform, there are a lot of counties where black people reside that are food deserts. That are food deserts. You have to be able to move around to get what you need in this day and time, family. I'm telling you. You had a lot of people. You had a retired police officer who was a security guard who caught it. How many times on this damn platform have we said retired law enforcement and military need to be out there training? How many times have we said that? Y'all always on the losing side. Always. They out there training. If you don't believe me, you can go to all of these social media sites. Getter, Parler, so many. and see YouTube. See them training. See them coming out of military, out of law enforcement, out of corrections and training. Black people sit on their behinds and wait for their retirement check. That's crazy to me. We live in a country that is hostile towards us.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep that in the back of your mind. I don't trust nobody. Everybody's suspect to me. Everybody. I'm standoffish. I play the role, play the back, and watch everything.
Yeah. Yo, Keisha, we got a caller on the line. You wanted to bring him in?
Yeah, let's bring him in.
Peace. You on Thorough Black Talk. State your name. Where you calling from?
What's up? This is Black Smith. Check it in. What's up, y'all? Long time.
Yeah.
Brother Black Smith.
What you got for us?
I don't know. When y'all started off, y'all covered a lot of stuff, and it was all great.
Right now, we talking about Buffalo. We talking about the shooting that took place. One of the things that I wanted to discuss, Brother Black, is when you compare and contrast the shooting that took place in Buffalo with the shooting that took place in, I think it was California, where in an Asian American church came in, and those older Asian Americans jumped on that shooter quick. They jumped on him quick, got him down to the floor. You see, prepared. If you go right now in Brooklyn, we was all down in Fort Greene and Bed-Stuy a couple of weeks ago, all of us. If you go to Farragut Projects in the morning, you see them Asian folks out there doing Tai Chi and all that.
Yep.
Our elders is always going to the goddamn doctor's office. This is a problem for me.
Yeah.
When I'm out there riding my bike or what have you, I see them out there. We just did a mountain climb. If you run into Sister Marcia, she'll tell you all them older Urugus was out there. Our folks is always going in the goddamn doctor's office.
Or church.
Or the church. And sickly. Inept to protect yourselves. Don't tell me you can't do it, because listen, I ain't no young chippy and I'm out there doing it. You got brothers in the park doing calisthenics in their 70s, look like they in their 30s. They don't play no games. Get your behinds out there. Get yourselves healthy so you can protect yourself. Find other options where you could get food. You all shouldn't be regulated to one place where you have to buy food. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, let me get off my soapbox. Get this hot.
What you was gonna say, brother?
Well, I was just gonna say, everything connects that y'all talked about. I could stay on the topics you already talked about and relate it all together, because there's no men in the house, so there's no discipline. Women cannot rule alone because they're emotional, and it's not being I'm not being discriminating or anything like that. It's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So you got all these gay boys coming up. Some of them are thugs, some of them aren't. You know what I'm saying? And there's no sense of protection when it comes to where these thugs be at when supermarkets are getting robbed, when churches are being invaded. I mean, where the thugs at? All the rap music talk about is dudes, is killers, is thieves, is thugs, is drug dealers, gangsters, whatever you want to call it. But they never seem to be around when something like that hits us.
Yep.
So what's the mentality of a 18-year-old thug today? As Vice, what Tad covered extensively with how it used to be, when it was Crooklyn, when it was still, it was thugging going on. Don't get it twisted. It was, to me, in my opinion, it was a lot wilder in them days because anything could break off. It could be a gang fight, a knife fight, and a gun fight all in one war. You know what I'm saying? That probably 2 people die. But the point I'm making is, you know, even if we got to go back to that way of thinking, can we gear it towards the ops?
Mm-hmm.
When can we get to that point? I mean, if it got to go there. I'm not talking about, you know, just going in the white neighborhoods and shooting up white folks for no reason. I'm talking about when one of them interferes in something that we're doing in our neighborhood and it comes to the guns and the knives.
Mm-hmm.
Or the soldiers coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm not putting no words today. I'm going to say it exactly like how it needs to be said. Because that's what it is, really, when you break it down. You know what I'm saying? The Asian people, I haven't been in New York in over 6 years, but I remember the Asian people was on Canal Street coming over the bridge. Early in the morning. It got to damn near be snowing for them not to be out there every day.
Yeah.
Y'all from Brooklyn, so y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm sure y'all came across that bridge one time enough to see them out there. Mm-hmm. And then underneath the bridge, they got all the food markets and fish and all that.
Yeah.
Come on now. You know what I'm saying? I'm thorough New York, so I know my city. And you know, like you said, like y'all said, most of these things are gonna happen in New York and California because those are the strictest gun laws. I'm surprised nothing popped up, but Chicago's there, so you know that's an everyday thing for them over there every weekend. 30 shot is like a regular number. Yeah.
Yo,
so
you know it's
interesting.
You know it's interesting that you mentioned that, brother Blacksmith, about, you know, the G's, our youth out here that's, you know, thugging or whatever you want to call it, and they doing it against their own people. You know, it's interesting because I don't know if I mentioned it before, but on the same exact day that this shooting happened in Buffalo, another hot topic in the black community was there's this rapper named Benny the Butcher. He's a very popular
he's from Buffalo.
Thug rapper from the same place, from Buffalo, New York. And his crew jumped another black rapper because they had beef with each other. So the black rapper that had, his name's Freddie Gibbs or whatever, he was in Buffalo, in their town, and Benny the Butcher's crew rolled up to him and jumped him and beat him up. His whole eye was swollen and all of that. So they jumped him in Buffalo. Now in the same city, the same day, this shooting happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what you said, like where the thugs at, it's like our priorities are all messed up. You know what I'm saying? Because if they wasn't jumping that dude, that whole group of them could have been at that supermarket defending it. Now they wouldn't even needed the whole group. It could have just been 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? To just stop that little devil, that little young sissy devil that went out doing that. I only did that because he picked it, you know, specifically because he knew it was going to be old people there and nobody going to defend themselves in the supermarket at that time. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go to the hood in Buffalo where Benny the Butcher and none of them is from. You know, he picked the supermarket and only elders got murdered. You know what I'm saying? So he knew he was a sissy when he did it. But my thing is this too, like, for us as black people, what we have to take out of this, from my perspective, is we have to understand that we have to change the temperature of how we look at everything right now. Because we've been saying for a long time, we at war. But we are literally in the middle, in the eye of the storm. You know, we in the heart of this war right now. And there shouldn't be no more black people. First of all, it shouldn't be no more regular black people. That's what I call them. If you're not conscious or active, you regular black. Black people can't afford to be regular black no more.
Nah.
Like, it's not an option. We don't have that privilege to be regular black. Everybody has to be aware. Everybody got to be up on what's happening with this assault against our people. And the way, I'm going to pass the mic with this, but the way that you can tell that we are not aware of what's going on, and we're not on code, and we're not on timing, like the kids like to say on demon time, we're not on timing, is because, unfortunately, and, you know, peace be upon all those elders that transition, but so many acts of aggressions have happened against black people that you would think by now that if something happened in front of your eyes, that you're going to go on the defensive or the offensive. But instead, unfortunately, a lot of our elders, everybody that was there, when you look at the video, everybody's laying on the floor, hiding. Like the shooter ain't coming inside with a weapon. Like if you laying on the floor, he not gonna shoot you. That's not the reality, family. Black people, we have to realize that we in a fight or flight situation. And if you don't fight, they not gonna bypass you. He's shooting people while they laid on their back on the floor, covered up. Shooting them again after he done shot them to make sure they dead. You think if you go and hide and lay down on the floor and ball up, that he not gonna shoot you? The only one he didn't shoot that did that was the white guy behind the register. So black people have to understand that, look, if anything like this happens, you have to be on timing. You have to be willing to make the sacrifice to say, look, I might get shot. I might not even survive. So if I'm not gonna survive, I'm gonna give my life to stop and kill this person. So if I gotta go, at least I'm saving the rest of everybody else that's in the supermarket. Black people cannot be laying on the ground and trying to hide anymore. We need to be making the sacrifice to stop this from happening. And that's so deep because it's like this whole thing is happening because of a lack of sacrifice that we want to make. None of us want to make that sacrifice, whether it's on a physical level of in the moment or whether it's before it happened, because that's when the true sacrifice needs to happen. It needs to be preventative. See, Dr. Huey Newton already talked about this. People being reactionary. A lot of us are waiting for things to happen and then we react. Ain't that the same thing that happened with our family? When your next door neighbor child die or somebody get murdered, they say, oh, that couldn't have been me, or that was my cousin or my brother or my son or my daughter. But then next week it happens to be your son or your daughter, and now you care because you reactionary. We can't be reactionary no more. We don't have that privilege. We need to be on timing at all goddamn times. I'm gonna pass the mic with that.
You know what's funny? Real quick. Remember in 2016, the whole year I was doing lectures and presentation called Pistols and Passports. Pistols and Passports. We either gonna fight or take flight. But in 2012, 2013, if y'all can remember, the prank videos all on YouTube. And I kept saying these white boys are doing what's called recognizances. They're testing our defenses. They're trying to see how well protected our hoods are. If y'all can remember, they was going to all the different hoods from LA to Coney Island with these pranks, you know, acting like they got guns, you know, just saying stupid stuff. I mean, and salute Brooklyn, because Brooklyn definitely held it down, because a few of them jokesters got beat on. But I recognized it for what it was. It was recon. It was recons. You know, we are at war. They just testing our defenses. How committed are we to defending our community? Because once they say, oh, bro, it's a prank, people will give them dap them up, shake their hand, like, oh, okay, like it's funny, and it's not funny. And to what brother, you know, either you, brother Ashe, or brother Black Smith said, the white boy said he been checking that place out for a minute. So he knew where he was going to strike. That's why.
The manifesto is right there on the screen.
Yeah, you know, they don't go to the projects. They dare not go to O Block in Chicago. You know, they probably come to Bed-Stuy now because it's gentrified, but they're not going to go to LG if they go to Bed-Stuy. They're not going to go into Marcy or Tompkins with that foolishness. They go where the weakest and most vulnerable people are. And it's on us to start holding it down, you know. That's why I love serving the elders, you know, wherever they are, grocery stores, train stations, because I feel obligated to protect them, because that's the cycle of life. That's the energy we want to receive when we become elders. Hopefully, you know, we could be in great shape like Brother Ray, you know, still moving them big plates and won't need nobody to help us. We could defend ourselves and the community. But, you know, many of our people aren't even taking health and fitness serious. You know, we constantly talking about we at war, but even when you go to our conscious events, look how many of our elders got the gout, they got the diabetes, they just out of shape. and it's not a good look. And not saying everybody got to be, you know, like Hulk Hogan and in the best shape of their life, but a lot of this stuff is preventable. We need more than just to be intellectuals. We need to be proactive. We need to be warrior minded. We need to train every day. Even in my videos, you know, my Better Days Ahead fitness videos on YouTube, I was showing people who can't even get down on the floor how to do push-ups off the wall. So you build your strength up to get down on the floor. Go from the wall. Once you master that, you go to the back of the chair. Once you go to that, go to the seat of the chair. Once you get to that, get down on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Modified version on your knees doing your push-ups. Once you master that, then you go back to the plank style push-ups where your body is rigid, stiff. You rebuild your strength. Because when you don't build your strength, your body creates atrophy. So whether you are an old man or a young man, if you're not keeping yourself in shape, you're not going to be in condition to defend anybody. You know, looking at your homie just came out and popped everybody. He didn't even get in the store and he was killing people. It looked like a video game. And I say all that to say that even if you can't fight a person, be in shape to run away. Be in shape to be able to save yourself. Because what's happening now is we become so politicized with this environment. We're waiting on the very system that is pressing us to save us from real life events. If I got my pistol on me, I don't need to call the cops. I'm not calling the cops anyway. You know what I'm saying? If that's my fate, that's my fate. Because we see how that happens when you call the police for assistance if you're a black person. Chances are you're going to get choked out. We've seen it too many times. We've seen it with the brother whose car had broke down on the road, and they end up killing him for having a car break down. I forget that.
It's crazy you mentioned that, bro, because right now what's happening with slow Joe Biden? He's actually signing in legislation, and a lot of people are putting the pressure on him to do this gun control stuff. And that's exactly what's going to happen. But what's going to happen, they're going to control the gun.
Go ahead, brother Ashe. Go ahead, Ashe. Talk about it, please.
What's going to happen when they control it, when they put the legislation in, who is it going to affect? Black people. It ain't going to affect the goddamn serial killers and the mass murderers because all their stuff is legit. Remember, they goddamn uncles and fathers own the gun stores. Matter of fact, they fathers and brothers work for the goddamn police. So even if they don't own it, they could just go and get it from their goddamn brother or they father that work for the goddamn police force. You know what I'm saying? So the only people this legislation they're gonna put in where they're trying to curb gun violence and stop this and all of that. Everybody's putting the pressure on sharing memes, stop the guns from coming in, is black people, because black people are the ones that don't have legal guns. We got guns, but we ain't got no legal guns. So just like what they did with the crack and the cocaine and the weed, where you see black people are predominantly the ones that are in prison for these drugs, when we know that the real drug users are white people that use all kind of other crazy drugs, way more than black people do. But we the ones that's in prison. Same thing gonna happen with these gun laws. It ain't gonna stop the goddamn mass shootings. You know what I'm saying? These people work for the goddamn government. So they already know. They got manifestos. Black people ain't got no goddamn manifestos. Even if we do kill some goddamn people, we ain't going talking about picture a black person writing down the crime they about to commit.
Right.
Sound like black people? I ain't gonna write down and journal and put it in my diary. Oh, dear diary, tonight I'm gonna incriminate the shit out of myself. Let me see. I want to go shoot up some white people. Ain't no black people doing that. You know what I'm saying? So these people are strategic as hell, and we are so unorganized. It's not even funny, even though I'm making light of it.
And you know what's funny that you say that, right, Ashe? Because this is something I always keep telling people, keep talking about tougher gun laws. Yo, criminals don't respect laws. What those gun laws do is it ties the hands of the law-abiding citizens. It makes us vulnerable to the criminals. That's what the hell makes a criminal, a person who says F your law. That makes a criminal. Like, okay, I know I'm gonna be the only one with a gun, so I'm going to terrorize the whole community. I'm going to shoot who I want, rob who I want at will, because I have the gun, because I know none of these people out here got a gun. But now, the criminal mind, they always go for easy targets. If I know everybody got a gun in here, chances are I'm not going to come in here with my foolishness, because I might get laid out. Criminals go for easy targets. But you can't get these politicians to acknowledge that, because it's not about the safety of the community. It's all about the money and the votes. It's all about power and control. But unfortunately, we've been dumbed down so hard that we don't realize that we are the people. We do have the power and control, you know. But I think we did a show a few years ago, right, Sister Keisha, when we talked about the gun laws that were put in place to strip us of weapons. In fact, we weren't even allowed to have canes or a dog.
Yo, Tad,
We could weaponize that. Yes,
before
bro.
we go into this video Keisha sharing, because what you said is so valid, bro. Because I don't know if y'all saw, but just last night, Steve Kerr, who is the head coach of the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors. Everybody loves Steph Curry. Well, his coach, Steve Kerr, ex-NFL and NBA player himself, went on a crazy rant before the game. And he was like, yo, I know we got to play this game. Everybody wants to see the game. But in this interview, I don't want to talk about basketball. It's another murder just happened. He banging on the table. We got to do something. And he specifically called out names of these politicians. He called out Mitch McConaughey or whatever his name is, called them out, said, look, you got to start doing stuff. They trying to put the pressure on. So what you're saying is valid about these gun laws, and we got to just make sure we are aware of what's happening right now. And if you ever considered getting your license or your permit or whatever, I would do it now before they start implementing these things and make it harder to get. A lot of these things can be easily done. Right now, you can go on your county website, your state website, and most of these licenses for firearms are right online. You don't even have to go in person to do it. You do it online.
Yeah, and that's funny you say that, right, Ashe? Because I think New York made it a little more lenient since it's being gentrified now. Since the population is changing. Am I correct, Sister Keisha?
Not in the 5 boroughs, but
the surrounding counties.
It's the same, and in fact, the cost has increased in the 5 boroughs. So outside, like if you live on Long Island or upstate New York, it's a 1-page, less than $100 processing fee. To do. Here in the city, it's 16 to 24 pages long, the application process. The cost is 6 times the amount of upstate New York. And when you have a mayor who is criminalizing the use of firearms, not speaking of using firearms in a legal realm, he wants to disarm everyone. This is very problematic. In fact, one of the reasons for doing so, and I don't know if you all know, is Mayor Adams has put in a bid for the Democratic National Convention in 2024 to take place here in the city of New York. That was also part of the trips back and forward to Washington. So there is a lot wrapped up in this. But again, as you brother said, once these tragedies happen, the first thing they say is, we got to change the laws. We don't need no more laws in this country. We got enough laws to handle everything. Anything coming in new is to nullify your ability to protect yourselves, to feed yourselves, to educate yourselves, to use technology in a way that is beneficial to you. A lot of small businesses, I don't know, you better check your local chambers, of commerce, because there is legislation that is being talked about to limit your ability to do business in brick and mortar and in web. and it's going to be problematic for a lot of small owned businesses. That's why I think some black owned businesses met with the mayor this week to discuss these problems. A lot of black businesses are getting tripped up by policies that the employees are not well aware of. It's a whole big mess. But anyway, moving right along, family. Here is another incident. Go ahead, brother Ashe.
Yeah, our brother Black wanted to make a comment before we see the video. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, real quick. I gotta drop a bombshell on the stuff we just talked about, and I didn't want to interrupt because I'm more learning tonight than talking. But let me tell y'all two things that I'm sure y'all probably heard about, maybe in a rumor sense of way, but it's been confirmed. I'm gonna go back to Buffalo real quick, and then I'm gonna go off of that into what I'm gonna get into next. As far as the Buffalo shooting is concerned, there's another component we ain't looking at, and it's that the brother, the security guard, the first one that got shot, had just invented a car that could run on water.
I was about to say that. Go ahead, Black. Come on.
Okay, so we got to put that in there too. And he had patented it, and he was a security guard. So, of course, you're going to target the security first if you're going to do some wildness like that. Second part of what I'm about to talk about is that a whole bunch of people, and for the most part, I don't know, I didn't hear his name involved in this directly, Eric Adams, but Mayor Garcetti was part of this movement that's happening this whole week from the 22nd till tomorrow, I believe. In Belgium, if I believe. I don't remember where it was. I don't know the gory details, but as well, there's a initiative by the WHO to take over the sovereignty of all NATO nations so that they can start quarantining people and doing COVID part 2 with the monkeypox. Something we ain't even talk about yet in this whole show. So I just want to drop those 2 bombs, let it go wherever it's going to go from here.
Yeah.
Facts. He did. He was working on a patent to make automobiles able to run on water and not gasoline. Yes. That's a fact. That's a fact. He former police officer, security guard, and an engineer, apparently. So, but we're moving right along, family, to this story. You have Kevin Williamson, who beat Rayme McCoy while she was paying for her goods at a BP gas station in Jacksonville, Florida. Again, caught off guard, comfortable with these folks. I wouldn't even engage in an argument with him. And as you see this video, you see 2 people come up in the back. One right there, one black person, I don't know the other one. They should have been tag teaming.
Yep.
Listen, if this goes down in front of me, I'm jumping in. You gotta be. I'm jumping in. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody, listen. Too many of us, as Brother Ashe said, this ain't the time to not be woke or whatever you want to call it. This ain't the time for it at all. Too many of us are really lackluster when it comes to putting hands and feet on Urugu and other folks. But we quick to do it with our own. Quick to do it. I'm putting hands, feet, blades, and everything else I carry with me on that food. Now, going back real quick, as it relates to this story, as it relates to what we were talking about being aware, being fit. I'm not wearing no tight-ass skirt that I can't move around in. I'm not wearing no damn flip-flops that I can't secure my feet to be well grounded. We don't have that luxury. We don't. Listen, if you out and about making a quick run, you don't have that luxury. Stop being lazy and lackluster in your approach. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, I remember him teaching this clear. I found the CD from the 90s when he gave a wonderful definition of the meaning wardrobe. You should be prepared for every encounter with the things that you are wearing. Sisters, I told y'all last year, get you a tactical paracord and wear it. keep it on your bag. If you could keep a clip of sanitizer on your bag, you could keep a tactical paracord on your bag, because that neck vein should have been sliced because he attacked her. Mind you, he is a registered sex offender too.
Wow.
You don't know who pulling up next to you and your children. Stop being so damn lackluster with this. It pisses me off. This really bothered me. I know that a lot of you, we moving on because we running out of time. I know a lot of you have seen the videos, ads of Walmart trying to make this Juneteenth ice cream. What did we say with this bill legislation was about? For white conglomerates to make money off of our suffering.
They disbanded it.
Yeah, I know. The thing that pissed me off is that this was even a thought process in the first place. You have black executives at Walmart. How the hell did slip through you? And you not notify the people immediately. I am black first in everything that I do. Everything. I want our people to get better in our approach to things. One of the things that I like to do, because I'm a cyclist, is I like to watch various videos of people and the bikes that they use, the routes that they take, and so on and so forth. Now, you guys have heard me on this program say many times that one of the reasons why I ride bikes is to learn the ins and outs of this city. You see things, streets, roads, dead ends, and so on and so forth, that an average driver will miss. You can't get to in a vehicle. So if roads are shut down, what do? Now, when that shooting took place in Buffalo, they shut the streets down, right? Because it's a crime scene. Mind you, this is the only food supply in that area. How the hell them people couldn't get in and out to buy food? No vehicles were allowed. Come on, family. We got to do better. We got to do better. If you see one of your brothers and sisters being attacked by one of these beasts and you don't get into it, you a sucker and your mama raised one. Who the hell raised you? We don't move like that. Listen. Y'all better be on point. Look out for each other. I don't know that lady, Rayme McCoy. I don't know her. But if I was in that store, if Tab was in that store, if Ashay was in that store, if Black was in that store, it'd be a different damn story. We don't roll like that. We got to change how we do things. It's very, very problematic for Black people because white aggressionists are pissed off with the status quo of this liberal agenda that is being permeated through this country. And when the liberals make us the face of their progress, even though they do nothing for us, that's why these damn aggressionists is always after us. Don't believe me? I told you the sites to go to. Read the goddamn chats.
Hey, Keisha.
The Democratic Party make Black people the face of their success, and they do nothing for us. Do not let these liberal mayors and governors and city council members disarm you because of criminality in your city. As Tad said, criminality would cease if everybody was armed. You'll be a little bit more reluctant to pull up and do some foolishness when you know everybody's armed. None of these liberal mayors, governors, or city council folks ever talk about firearm training. You got young shooters out here shooting up everybody, innocent kids and everybody, because they never had no training. The mob don't operate like that. Italian, Chinese, or Russian mobs don't operate that way. Only so-called Black gangsters. And you got cities who are dead set against training. Brother Ashe try to train people in this city, get people trained in this city in firearms. I used to lecture on firearms. I'm not playing these games. I mean what the hell I said. I'm not helping no dummy. I'm not. Don't ring my phone or call my numbers. You gonna get a click. Don't tell me you can't get no food when I've been telling you, or we've been telling you for 2 years minimum to start stocking up on stuff. And you ain't doing it? Oh well, starve, fool. Because if you could be all over Instagram flossing and flashing, you should be flossing and flashing how you getting deals to stockpile food and water in your house. You got women who can't get baby formula. This is all a game that they playing on y'all.
Yo, go ahead, Black.
Grandmothers. Let me go back to your old grandmothers.
I was gonna say
formula. We had what do you call that? Evaporated milk with some sugar in it or some syrup or something in it with water. Stop playing.
Most of us was breastfed.
Hello.
Am I?
But now they got an artificial breast milk company. Headed by Bill Gates. I'm gonna show that clip before we close out. Go ahead, brother Ashe.
No, Black wanted to say something. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I wanted to say something as far as you had mentioned we should be ready for whatever encounter we're going to see in the street or outside of our homes with the clothes we wear. This is that what triggered in my mind was a Brooklyn thing right there. Why can't we get somebody to independently make jeans like Carl Kanai did in the early 90s that's wide body so you could carry your gat on you and it's hard to see it because it's so baggy? Why don't we bring the baggy movement back in? Where's the saying that only young guys only wear skinny jeans and then they cinching it up and bulging their belly fat? Well, you see half their underwear anyway. This is time where we got to start thinking strategically like that too and start creating the clothes we need to wear so that we can have what we need on us.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it. I'm done. Y'all can go.
Yo, Ty, how you feel about that video, bro? I definitely want to hear your feedback on the grocery, the assault.
I'd have plucked them all the way out. I might have stabbed him. I know I would have stabbed him. I think if I was there, he probably wouldn't even do it. I think I shared with y'all before years ago on our program that there was a similar incident like that on my block on Wave. And one of the young boys was drunk. He accidentally bumped the white guy. Now I'm watching him. He accidentally bumped the white guy. The white guy slammed him to the ground, stood over him like he was about to beat him. And I think that was the first time the youngest on the block ever really seen me get busy. Like they always heard the stories. And at first I was arguing with the cracker. I was like, yo, what's wrong with you? And he's like, yo, you don't see the guy's drunk. And I said, exactly. So if he's drunk, why you hit him? You know what I'm saying? So Dr. Khalid showed up right there. So why are you talking to this dude? You know what came next? The 2-piece with the biscuit. Boop, boop, boop. Because there was nothing to talk about. Because that could have been my son. That could have been anybody. But I was mad like you was so comfortable to come through here and put your hands on somebody that you admitted was an accident. You know what I'm saying? But of course, they have no respect for us. We only cool to them when they're outnumbered by us. But when the playing field is leveled or it's more of them, they pretty much get a little bravado about themselves. And he did that because I'm quite sure he assessed the store that ain't nobody in here gonna do nothing to me, and he was 100% right, which is sad. And I like what you said, Ashe. You know, we're gonna start calling them regular black people. But that was regular black folks. We got to get over this fear of white people. We really got to shake this fear that they're invincible. We got to get these Superman, Marvel comic images out our head. We got to get rid of this Batman image that like, yo, all of that is fictitious. Them being supreme is fictitious. Them being able to kick our ass is fictitious. They can only do it in groups. And even then they get a hard time. Look at how the Ku Klux Klan ran. They would always single one man in the middle of the night when he's home with his wife and kids. And then they ride, a bunch of them with guns. They want to catch you when you're sleeping. But they didn't run up in these churches and in places like that where they knew a lot of black men were, and they would get resistance. Let's not forget that Tulsa, Oklahoma only happened because we fought back. We didn't play with them. They wanted to snatch our young brother out of jail and thought they was going to have their way, and brothers put up a resistance and kicked their ass. Let's keep it real. They had to go get more white folks from surrounding towns because they couldn't deal with the brothers. See, when we stand together and we stand tall, we always win. But they'll never put that in the books because then that's putting that idea in our children's head that we can win. And they will never want us to see that. Even when you look at the movie Django, and I always go back to Django because everybody's acting like that was a cultural phenomenon. Remember, the villain of the movie was Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Monsieur Candy. He was the one who kidnapped Jamie Foxx's wife. But remember, they wouldn't even let Jamie Foxx kill him in the movie. They let the other white man, Dr. Schultz, kill him. Why? Because we can't show you an image of a black man killing a white man with power. It plays too much on the psyche and the subconscious, and they understand that this is the original computer. This is what dictates our behavior and how we move. So if they show us winning, we know we could win. So they got to constantly show us losing, so they keep us in a victim mentality. We always fear them and paralyzed by them. So that's why they run through our communities, running rampant, doing what they want to do, because they're not met with resistance because nobody shows our people images of us winning. I'm gonna step off my soapbox with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Avatar got close, but it still was a killjoy or anticlimactic at the end because the white boy who turned blue, who was really black, got the girl at the end.
Yep.
Right.
And they got part 2 of that Avatar coming out soon.
Turned blue to become black and got the girl at the end of the movie.
Yep.
So it's still the white boy doing it.
And they got part 2 coming out, and the trailer for that one, he's still blue, and he still got the girl, but his child is a white boy, a white human with dreads.
Wow.
What kind of message is that? His child in the new movie in the trailer is not even an avatar. It's a human. I don't know how 2 avatars can make a human now, but his child is a human, but it's a white human with black dreadlocks. So what message is that?
So they had Predator, huh?
That's what it sounds like.
Let me play this video real quick before we close out.
Hold on. I just want to comment real quick on that video that Keisha shared because it's important because we got to realize this is a prime example of what I was just mentioning about us not being on timing. You know, that dude in the background, the black, because Keisha said 2 people. It was a black man in the background. Let's be specific.
A black guy, not a man, a guy.
A black male. A black guy.
A man would have jumped in.
A male. A black male, grown adult male at that, was in the background, slowly strolling up to watch it to get a better view. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about with us not being on time and not being on code, not knowing that we at war. Because what's going through his mind, this male, like Ty said, not a man, male. He probably thinking the same thing a lot of these other black males right now be thinking when they see a woman getting abused.
What did she do?
You took the word right out of my mouth.
Because
that's the first thing they say.
What did she do?
What did she do? Maybe she did something. Maybe she said something. You a goddamn coward. Coward if you say that. If you see a black woman getting her hands put on by somebody, I don't care if they're white or black. The first thing that comes to your mind is, what did she do? You a coward. Now, don't get it twisted because we know it's some women out here, and a prime example, I'm going to cut it short, but this past weekend on Tompkins Avenue, Black Girl Magic Street, it was so many people out there. It was lit. It was a whole vibe, but then you realize after a while that the wrong people got word of this event because the whole hood was out. I'm talking about the Bloods was out, repping, flagged up. The whole hood, it wasn't like just like how it normally be on Tompkins, where it's a vibe, positive vibe, family, black businesses. It was the hood was out, like they came out to just drink and bag chicks and meet each other, bag dudes and all of that. So it was a different crowd. But you know how many, this was the first weekend we saw where it had, first of all, there was like 3 fights in front of this black-owned business, Brew, the bar. Wow. It was 3 fights there. Some girl got jumped. And then I didn't witness that, but people told me that it happened. The DJ had to shut the music down. But what I did witness was about 3 or 4 different arguments. And the arguments that I witnessed was between black men and black women. So my point is this. We understand that some black women are not in their African mind. And they'll put their hands on somebody when it's not it's not supposed to happen. Like some women, they go crazy or whatever. They put, like I saw the sister put her hands on a dude. Y'all was arguing, all right, I get it. Don't put your hands on a dude. You know what I'm saying? So some people, we understand as black men, you can't step in every situation because like Tad will tell you, a lot of people got murdered following trying to support some stupid chick. So we ain't talking about no dumb chick. But if you see a black woman that ain't put her hands on nobody, and you see somebody coming in, especially a man coming in to put his hands on a black woman, nah, that can't happen, family. I don't care if it's a white man or a black man. Ain't no big ass strong dude supposed to be putting his hands on no black woman. You know what I'm saying? So if you got that mentality where you're going to say the first thing is, oh, what did she do? Let me stay out of it. You a goddamn coward, family. This is the reason why it happens like that. And it's the reason why white men feel comfortable to be able to do that in a black community is because he know the black man ain't gonna put, all he got to do is use some kind of slang from a rap song that the black man knows to sound like he down. Because we got so many black people co-signing white people these days, even giving white people passes to say the N-word. You know what I'm saying? Looking at them like brothers, when meanwhile, on the flip side, these devils are out here writing manifestos of how and what time they gonna walk into our goddamn community and what weapon they gonna use and what clothes they gonna wear when they do it. You know what I'm saying? And we just sitting here talking about, well, what did she do? You know, so this is what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, we got to be on timing, family. We have to know that there's a perpetual state of aggression against black people. And when you see something like this, you have to step in, family. Because if you don't, we used to talk about, and I'm going to cut it short. We used to talk about all the time, George Floyd, Trayvon, so many things happen. And it's like, oh, it's not you, right? It's not you. So you don't have to worry about it. That's what the people that's cowards, that's their excuse. But now you don't even have that excuse no more to say, oh, it's not me. Because now they shooting up the whole goddamn building. They shooting everybody in the building now. So what you gonna say? Oh, it wasn't me. No, you in that building, it's you. You know, so the aggression is progressing. It's getting higher and higher heightened aggression. So we don't have that privilege no more, family. And I'm gonna cut it short. It's a lot more I could say, but we passed the time. Y'all want to make some final comments? Whoever black before
I'm gonna play this video
okay.
real quick. Real quick. It's 2.5 minutes long, but it relates to the milk and food shortage. I want y'all to pay attention. It's a TikTok video. I said, why I gotta do all the work? I found a TikTok video is tell it all for me. How about that? So hold on, family. Watch this real quick and we'll come back and close out.
And I need to share it with y'all. Pay attention.
The U.S. is staring at a baby formula shortage, leaving families across the country distraught. So far, stores in 5 states, including Texas and Tennessee, are more than 50% out of stock. Supplies are running low in 25 other states.
Now watch this.
A few mothers reported that they noticed a reduction in milk supply, so they were producing less milk than they were before they were vaccinated.
This is the part that you really need to pay attention to. Watch this.
Breast Milk Company, which should have you worried just in those 3 words alone. Alt Breast Milk Company, BioMilk, raises $3.5 million from Gates investment firm. Beyond Meat, Impossible Foods, 2 of the most well-known companies disrupting the food ecosystem, as this lamestream article notes. Now the pipeline of alt food companies include BioMilk, and it is spelled BIOMILQ. And when I referenced this on the morning show this morning, James, I noted, much like the cereal Fruit Loops that spells it FROOT, there's 0 fruit in that cereal and there ain't no milk in this BioMilk. a North Carolina-based startup targeting infant nutrition by attempting to reproduce mother's breast milk in a lab. BioMilk just earned the backing of the world's top investors, raising $3.5 million in funding from Breakthrough Energy Ventures, Bill Gates' investment firm that's focused on climate change. Breakthrough Ventures investing coalition includes Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Richard Branson, Michael Bloomberg, and more. A real rogues gallery of just sort of the New World Order, Illuminati super friends, as they like to call themselves.
At the problem from a scientific and business perspective on things. You've invested $10 billion in vaccinations over the last 2 decades, and you figured out the return on investment for that, and it kind of stunned me. Can you walk us through the math?
What did she just say?
You've invested $10 billion in vaccinations over the last...
Now wait just 1 minute.
First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Did y'all really pay attention?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So now you see, family, what's really happening. Again, we have come down to the end of our program. So much we didn't cover, we will cover next week. Monkeypox and all that. Where your tax dollars are going here in the city of New York for education, where monies that should be diverted to African-centered programs like Ziax Institute and others is going to yeshivas. So we will discuss all of that next week, family. My brothers, your final comments.
Brother Black, you want to make some final comments?
Yeah, let me make my final comment real quick. I don't need much time, but I just want to say, as far as some of the stuff we don't really talk about on this radio show, but I do, is what's going on in the political world. And despite what you're seeing, don't believe 90% of it. 45 named it fake news before he took the seat. We now know that that is almost always true. And so the reason why a lot of the people that should have been arrested who were against him haven't been in the public eye is because of some pictures that I saw a few days ago of bombs that were in all of these cargo ships, which in a way created the supply chain issues we're now having with food. So don't believe that this food shortage that they say we're going through is true, in the sense that, plants are no longer growing and food is no longer coming out of the ground. It's manufactured to be that way so that the good guys could use the excuse that it's a food shortage so that those bombs don't get too close to the coast and destroy some of the cities, especially on the East Coast, from Washington all the way up to Boston. Okay, now I said that part. That part two of that includes the food supply shortage, which would include the milk shortage as well. Women who don't want to breastfeed, one, because they didn't know anything about it, because they're maybe under 30 years old and never seen that, or seen it once or twice in their life, so they don't know nothing about it. Stop saying that you don't want to feed your baby because you don't want your titty sagging when you're 30 or 35. Feed them babies however you got to, and let's get these generations going, because these are the star season indigos coming in now. The crystals, the rainbows and the crystals coming in. Those are the children that took over from the star season, the indigos in the 90s and 80s and 70s. So let's get it. Let's get it popping. My name is Flavius Jones on Facebook. Y'all call me Blacksmith. You'll call me whatever you want when we talk, personal or whatever the case may be. Flavius Jones at Facebook. My blog is no longer on, but it will be soon. And hopefully I'll be on next week and we'll do it again. Peace, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Peace. Yeah, well, shout out to our brother Blacksmith. As we heard some people jokingly call themselves the Illuminati, but like I said, my first the first lessons I've learned coming into consciousness and my personal intellectual development was recognize the Illuminati. Shout out to the ancestor Steve Coakley, who was the name of names and always called these people out. He knew exactly what was going on all the time, gave us breadcrumbs to follow, and we know who Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and all of these people are. I mean, they no longer have to hide. They jokingly call themselves Illuminati because, you know, mainstream society make us think that they're not real. And the whole purpose of the Illuminati is they're the fake illuminated ones. We're the real Illuminati, but they're the fake enlightened ones who is trying to control the world. So hopefully y'all go outside of this program, do some research on all the information we gave you, watch the playback. Other episodes, we cite books, resources, articles, just so you can stay abreast and not be misinformed. So hopefully you are inspired by something you heard tonight. It's your turn to go out and inspire others. So y'all stay up, stay blessed, and stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, it's always better days ahead. Brother Ashe.
Yes, sir.
Yo, listen, it's so many things that I could say that this show won't end right now. The person out of the crew that's plant-based. I'm plant-based. So I definitely got something to say about the video Keisha shared, because, and what Blacksmith said was dead and exact about sisters don't even want to breastfeed. They talking about sagging breasts because they don't want to breastfeed. But I'll take it even a step further and say, what about the sisters that can't breastfeed? The sisters that got breasts that can't produce milk? What about them? And why is that? That comes full circle back to the conversation we having about not eating right and not exercising. I'm not saying this to pick on nobody. I'm not saying this to make fun of nobody. But I know sisters that literally have babies and can't produce milk. And then they got to run and scramble around trying to look up some goddamn man-made vitamin to help them produce milk because they can't naturally produce milk for the children that they naturally supposed to have. Because we so caught up eating the fried chicken and the goddamn French fries and all of that, that naturally your body is not even creating the natural things that it does that can create and pass on to the next generation because we're not taking care of ourselves. So that's a whole nother conversation. And it's funny that we talk about this. I don't know if y'all watched the latest Cat Williams stand-up. It was actually funny, except for the little part I didn't like he said about Harriet. But it was funny though, but he mentioned something in the stand-up. He said he was talking about the chicken wing shortage. There was a chicken, they said it was a chicken wing shortage. Not a chicken shortage.
Chicken
wing shortage. So how you got chickens but no wings? It's a chicken, but this is the funny, crazy thing that they talking about. So the food shortages are definitely planned out. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, when with the video Keisha shared about the genetically modified breast milk, human breast milk, let's talk about regular milk. Because we forget that 90% of the goddamn cows in America is genetically modified anyway. So you drinking that cow's milk, you getting GMO milk regardless. What's better, GMO human milk or GMO cow milk? That's a goddamn cow. I don't know. Either way, you know what I'm saying? We got to clean up.
I say that's a rough one right there, bro.
I know, because y'all not ready for it. Y'all not ready for the conversation, but it's a literal fact. We got cows out here. If you go to Purdue, these chicken, look it up. Don't believe me. You look at Purdue and all, they literally breeding chickens that don't have no beaks. They breeding chickens to be fatter and bigger than they used to be. Even with the fruits, you know how many Terminator seeds they plant into the earth, seeds that grow fruit that don't have seeds inside of them. So all of these things are genetically modified. So we have to make sure that we are being specific about the things that we eat, because they talking about some goddamn food shortage. Ain't no food shortage, family. It's food in abundance. It's just that we are so used to the goddamn being spoon-fed our food and going to the supermarket and buying everything instead of growing our own fruit. Or if you eat meat or whatever, having a farm, raising, getting back to that. You know what I'm saying? Where we control our own food instead of having to worry about the supermarket that gets shot up at Buffalo and now we can't buy our own food. You know what I'm saying? But our priorities are all messed up. So with this video Keisha shared about talking about the human breast milk that's being made up, let's not get it twisted, family. It's a lot of things that's genetically modified that we happy as hell to put down on our hey, yo, I ain't even gonna say it, but to eat. You know, we happy as hell to eat it, you know, but we're not ready for that conversation, you know. So we just gotta make sure like we said, we at war, family. This war is multifaceted, multi-layered, many different levels, many different angles is coming at us. You know what I'm saying? So let's make sure. Matter of fact, before we go, I gotta share this. Boom, I got it right here next to me. Bow. Soursop. What y'all know about this? Soursop. Shout out. Matter of fact, I want y'all to follow Food for Negus, Black sister company. She got a store right here in Brooklyn, but she ships products. If you want to get some exotic fruit, this is a soursop, aka graviola. This fruit is known to cure cancer right here. You could use the leaves of it and make tea, or you could open it up and eat it right just like this. I'm addicted to it. This is my candy, soursop. I got my burro bananas right here. Burro banana. I even got I don't even know what this is. I never even had this fruit. It's a prickly pear. I never even had it before. The sister told me to make a smoothie with it. So
I'm married to a Jamaican. I don't know full well what soursop is.
You don't know.
This is not just food for appetite, you know, because a lot of us, we eat for appetite. We don't know how to eat to heal ourselves. A lot of us got lupus, diabetes, cancer, so on and so forth, so many different things. And we don't even realize that the things that we have that the Most High created is literally medicine for us that'll heal us from all of these illnesses and diseases that we have. So make sure y'all go and follow her. Her page is Food for Negus. Negus. And it's FOODFORNEGUS. She's on all social media. She got a website. You could get some of this stuff shipped to you. All of the exotic stuff. Food for Negus. They solid. They stuff is official. Make sure y'all follow them. And like I said earlier, your homework for today, if you don't know about African Liberation Day, make sure you Google it. African Liberation Day. Read about it. Study it, family, because this is Pan-African work. And we need to be abreast of everything that's going on with all of our people. And like I said, it's tied into the history of Baba Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? With his movement, the OAAU, and the Organization of African Unity, the OAU, both of them together, family. So look up African Liberation Day. Let's make this a bigger thing next year. And till next time, family, your brother Ashe SJ signing out. Always remember, true courage is knowing how to suffer, and the battlefield is where you stand. Sister Keisha.
Thank you, family, for tuning in with us. Just one quick thing that I need to kind of correct, something that my brother Black said, that women, when they are pregnant, don't know how to breastfeed. That's not true. The body tells you. It is a fact. And until you can produce a child, you don't understand. So, and also, every woman produces milk. What happens is the secretion becomes too thin where it cannot be pulled from the breast. And so it goes backwards. So let me just correct that. You know, I am a mother. I know what I'm talking about. So that's a fact. But we thank you guys for tuning in. We got so much more to discuss. And we'll pick up back again next week, because I do want to get into what we eat and how we eat, because it is also based on genetics. You know, I know people who eat pork all day long and they in their 90s and very healthy. But anyway, that's another story. We'll get into all of that at another time. So I thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you Black again next week right here on the Brooklyn Bridge, where it goes down, baby. We out. Y'all stay safe out there and stay healthy at all costs.